Okay, this is one of those things it seems like it's not a big deal. It seems like just one of those kind of like procedural things. A lot of people are going to glaze right over this, but this is a big deal. This is not a small thing. OSHA seems to have just absolutely skewered employers requiring the vaccine to return to work. Because here's the thing, when you take the vaccine, if, God forbid, if something happens, you really don't have any legal recourse. You can't sue the government over it. You can't sue the vaccine manufacturers because it only has an emergency use authorization anyway. Can't sue the FDA. Can't sue the CDC. You can't sue anything. If you have an adverse reaction to this vaccine, you are essentially up shit creek. Except if your employer mandated that you get the vaccine. And with this new guidance released from OSHA, they're basically saying that you can either get compensation through a workers' compensation complaint, or you can sue the pants off your employer. And in response to this, many corporations are starting to back off that vaccine requirement. So I did a video a couple weeks ago about new data coming out that essentially said that around 55% of employers were either going to require the vaccine of some of their employees or of all of their employees. Well, if you're at one of those places that's requiring you to get vaccinated and you really don't want to, pay attention to what they do under these new OSHA guidelines. OSHA imposes new guidelines for employer-required COVID-19 vaccines. New guidance from the U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration is causing contractors to change their COVID-19 vaccine requirements, and many of them criticize the guidance as diametrically opposed to the Biden administration's stated desire to increase vaccinations on April 20th. So this isn't even new. This is like almost a month old. I don't know how we're just hearing about this now, other than the fact that people glossed right over this as something that was unimportant. On April 20th, OSHA released the new guidelines in the frequently asked questions section of its website for COVID-19 safety compliance. The question asked whether an employer should record adverse reactions to COVID-19 vaccination if the employer requires the vaccine. OSHA states that if the vaccine is required, then any adverse reaction is considered work-related and therefore must be recorded. We're going to read that again. This is really, really, really important, guys. OSHA states that if the vaccine is required as a condition of employment, then any adverse reaction is considered work-related. If you have any adverse reaction to this vaccine, it is considered a work-related injury under OSHA. Under OSHA's rules, most employers with more than 10 employees are required to keep a record of serious work-related injuries and illnesses. Recorded injuries and illnesses become a part of a contractor's safety record. This is the actual text of a new question and answer on the OSHA website. Question: if I require my employees to take the COVID-19 vaccine as a condition of their employment, are adverse reactions to the vaccine recordable? Answer: if you require your employees to be vaccinated as a condition of their employment, i.e. for work-related reasons, then any adverse reaction to the COVID-19 vaccine is work-related. This means that if your employer required you to get that vaccine and you have an adverse reaction to it, any adverse reaction to it, you can either file workman's compensation or you can sue the pants off your employer. The adverse reaction is recordable if it is a new case under 19 CFR, blah, 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 and meets one of the more general recording criteria, blah, blah, blah. In response, several large contractors said they have changed or will change their vaccination policy to only recommend, not require, a vaccine. We, sadly, had to back off our employee vaccination mandate because OSHA did something I don't understand at all, said Bob Clark, founder and executive chairperson of Clayco, in a recent ENR Critical Path podcast. I side with OSHA frequently. We're in its VIP program, but on this, they're just wrong. It's a terrible decision they made, and I think it'll be overturned. Well, I'm going to cross my fingers that it is not overturned because listen, I'm sorry. No employer out there has any business mandating what goes into their employees. If their employees are showing up to work, if they're following the guidelines of doing their job, that is all that should matter. There is absolutely no universe in which a corporation, for condition of employment, should be able to require that you put a vaccine in your body. Should it be recommended? Sure, fine. Recommend all you want. But then you have to let people make decisions for themselves. And as we already know, because the CDC has now come out and said it, if you're vaccinated, you're pretty much, you're covered. They feel good about it. They feel good about the effectiveness of the vaccine, indoor, outdoor, what have you. They feel so good about it that they're letting you take off your mask for the first time in a year. But this is something that should not be required as a condition of employment. That is just going, and frankly, I would not actually work for an employer that did require this as a condition of employment. Go screw. Clark says Clayco, which participated in crafting the initial Centers for Disease Control guidance on construction site safety during the pandemic, would be communicating with OSHA through members of Congress to seek changes to the guidance. The spokesperson for OSHA did not immediately return messages asking for clarification of the new guidance. Construction industry groups universally panned the guidance and said it would hurt their efforts to encourage employees to get vaccinated. Oh, you mean that you don't actually trust employees to make the best medical decisions for themselves? Is that what I'm hearing? Huh. What they put forward could potentially discourage employers from supporting their workers getting the vaccine. Oh no, said Kevin, Senior Director for Safety and Health Services at the Associated General Contractors of America. AGC is not in support of any mandate. Oh, then what the hell is your problem? However, we participated through April 19th and 23rd in Vaccine Awareness Week. We had a lot of members who were in chapters that supported the event. We even had some who hosted vaccine clinics on an active job site in their offices. And yes, guess what? If you want to get the vaccine, you can still get the vaccine. But if you're requiring it, there is an easy way around this, employers. There is a really easy way around your employees not filing workers' compensation claims as a result of adverse reactions to a vaccine that you made them get. There is an easy answer. Don't require the vaccine as a condition of employment. Recommend it. Say, we would prefer if you got the vaccine, and what you do with that information is none of our damn business, because it's not. It is not any of your business. Make the recommendation, provide your vaccine clinics on site. Who the hell cares? People who want to get the vaccine will get the vaccine. People who don't want to get the vaccine won't get the vaccine. But what they're mad about in this, what they're angry about, is this thwarts their little authoritarian tendencies by giving people a method of legal recourse. So OSHA, I salute you. I really hope that you don't back down on this guidance. All right, folks, that's all I've got for this subject, but hang on. Don't leave just yet. So listen, if you would like to support my channel, if you would like to support the work I'm doing, on occasion, I do shill products. Now, I'm doing it at the end of the video, so you can watch the content first. But listen, the product I want to tell you today is something I actually do use every single day, and it's CBD oil from HempWorks. This is the cinnamon variety. Let me just put that up on my screen right there. Listen, I used to pass the CBD oil all the time in the supermarket. I'd be like, oh, I really want to try that because this is totally my jam. I'm all about natural things like this. I'm a very big fan. And so I eventually ended up discovering this HempWorks CBD oil, which I really appreciate. One of the ways that it really helps me is it has totally changed my sleeping schedule at night. My sleep was suffering for the longest time, and I started taking the CBD oil, changed nothing else about my routine, and all of a sudden I started sleeping much better at night, started getting much sounder night's sleep. So I really do enjoy it. This is the cinnamon variety, which tastes just like a Red Hot. This is my favorite. I've also tried the orange, which a lot of people like. Not necessarily my favorite. I definitely prefer the cinnamon, but definitely try a flavor that's right for you. There are so many benefits that you can receive in this. You just put a few drops under your tongue, a little in the morning, a little at night, and you are all set. It's super duper easy peasy. There's also all sorts of other stuff on this site, like these CBD masks that I've tried, and those are pretty great. And also they have CBD coffee. They've got all sorts of things. So if you want to support my channel, try a new thing that could really help you out, benefit your life, I will put the link in the description below so you can help support my work and get yourself some awesome CBD products. All right, guys, that's all I've got for this video. I'll see you soon.